Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about building wealth and the shortcuts to building wealth. Alex, with that statement right there, the shortcuts to building wealth, what is your thoughts about it?
There are no shortcuts unless you hit the lottery, which is very slim to none. I think building wealth is a process, and I would especially say that there's no shortcuts because if you happen to find a shortcut to say get you to multi millions, like I just said, making the joke about hitting the lottery, if that were to happen, you haven't obtained wealth, you've attained the status of being rich and you have money. What I mean by that is you haven't gone through all the hard work and the processes to understand what it is to build and maintain that wealth, the knowledge and the literacy that is required to build all of that comes with it. So even if you were to find a shortcut to get you to a status of millionaire or whatever, your finances would be at the hands of someone that understands what it is to maintain wealth, what it is to manage wealth. And being in that position just makes you dependent on somebody else's knowledge. So I think building wealth is a process. It takes years, it takes dedication and a lot of education to understand what it is to get to that point.
I agree with a lot that you said. I mean, I believe that wealth or money, it has a language. It has a language, and people don't understand the language. People don't understand that everybody wants to create a business so they can quit their 9 to 5 job instantly. People don't understand that the 9 to 5 job is the biggest wealth building tool that they have. So, with saying that, start your business and still maintain the job. So, yeah, that means you're going to do 9 to 5 working, and then you're going to do 5 to 9 working on the business. And then eventually, one day, that 9 to 5, I mean, that 5 to 9 business will supersede and exponentially give you more profits and income than your 9 to 5 job. And then you can jettison your W-2 position. Not until, not before. But people just want to instantly, oh, I started a business. I ain't got to work at this other job no more. I get to do what I want. I'm my own boss. That means because I'm a boss, I got to have a Lamborghini. I got to have a big house. I got to have cars. I got to go on vacation every week. That's what everybody think of. I am a firm believer. If you have a business, start a business, you as the owner should not take one penny out of the business for the first 3 years. Firm believer of that. But money has a language. I mean, yeah, a love language. That's what I call it. And then, like, one of them is leverage other people's money. People need to understand what OPM is. OPM is not, oh, let me just get a whole bunch of credit cards and run them up doing stupid stuff. That's not leverage. Leverage is, hey, I see an asset that will produce revenue. Let me put a little bit of my money in there, take some money from a bank, take some money from outside investors, private investors, and then the money that I take from them, the interest that I got to pay them, the cost to operate the business, the revenue will supersede all that. And then that will bring money into the business so I can reinvest in the business and keep growing the business, growing the business, growing the business. Then 3 to 4 years out, then I can maybe take a salary or take some of the profit sharing out of the business. Another one is arbitrage. People don't understand what arbitrage is. Every time I say, they ask me like, "Hey, what do your wife do?" I say she arbitrage. Oh, what is that? What is that? It's the ability to buy an asset or a good or service at a lower price and then upsell it to other people at a higher price. That is one of the fundamental ways to make money. Now, let's just go back to real estate. You buy a real estate property at, let's say, we'll just use small numbers. Let's say $100,000. You buy it, it costs you, let's say, $600-700 a month to maintain that property. You sell or rent that property to somebody else for $1,400 or $1,500, and the gap is what you keep. That's the arbitrage of the business. Same thing with good and service. You buy a good or service at one price, and then you upsell it to people that don't have knowledge of a lower price good or service somewhere else. That's another way. In equity, ownership in a business. Ownership in a business don't mean that I buy it and then automatically it's just going to do everything for me. Being equity in a business mean, hey, and I was having a conversation with a gentleman the other day, and he was talking about he has an ownership stake in a business. And then the first question I asked about was governance of that business. I said, yeah, you own, a minority a stake in the business, but is there any governance, or you just on a whim blindly just having faith that, oh, the business is going to make money and then eventually you're going to make money off of it? You don't buy business and just close your eyes to the fact and just hope everything turns out right. You buy a business and then you want to be 100% focused on that investment, that business for the beginning stages of it, the first couple of years of it. You want to be hands-on, looking into it, trying to figure out, seeing where the accounts receivables at, seeing where the accounts payables at, seeing where the margins at. You want to understand all of that stuff, because I always say, strange things happen when it involves people and money. So you want to have a eye into what is actually going on in that business to make sure it happens. You want to make sure the process is in place, the efficiencies are in place to make sure that business is running efficient as possible. Because the end game is always you want to make money. But if you just sit there and blindly and just say, "Hey, here go $250,000 for your business," and oh, I hope it turns out right. If you get screwed over, shame on you. Shame on you. If you go buy a business outright and just think, oh, it's already been running this way, and they just gonna send me a check, shame on you. I remember the first business I bought. Well, the ones that failed, yeah, that was the mindset I had. The first ones that failed, but the ones where I started making the progress in, I was 100% in. 100% in, meaning 2 o'clock phone calls, 3 o'clock in the morning emails, everything. And then that lasted for about, 12, 18 months. And then now it's just a fine oil machine. I reach out and talk to the manager, hey, what's going on? What you need? You need anything from me? I mean, it's a real relationship. I don't want to be sitting there. I entrusted you to run this and manage this. I'm not about to be sitting over here micromanaging you. Hey, you did this, you did this. But the first, 12, 18 months, that's how it was, because I want to make sure all the processes are in place. Hey, tell me, what can I do to make your life easier as a manager? And then so after we got all those processes in places, now everybody just do their own thing. Of course, I still call in, we touch bases. We call in about private matters or stuff that's going on with the business, but it's about building relationships. It's not just, oh, I did it, so now let me just get hands off. Those are the things that people don't understand when it comes to making stuff happen. They just think it's so easy. Just do this. But the step number one, going back to what you said, and sorry I'm going, a long time, but back to what you said, that 9 to 5 job is a mindset. A worker is a mindset. When you pivot to trying to build wealth, you got to develop another mindset. And that mindset is, hey, I want to do what owners do. I want to do what wealthy people do. I want to do what people that have money do. The worker mindset and those mindsets are two different things. But people think that they can own a business and have a worker mindset. And that worker mindset is, oh, I work 2 weeks, so I need a paycheck. No, when you're an owner, you work 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 12 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, and then you still might not get a paycheck. But the end goal is for you to walk off with a boatload of money, but you got to do the work first to make sure that happens. That's why 80% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. Because everybody still has that worker mentality of thinking, oh, I own a business, so I work 2 weeks, I should be getting a paycheck somewhere. No, you shouldn't. Everybody that works for you should get a paycheck every 2 weeks. But you as the owner, you're the last one to get paid. So you should be working to put processes in order so they can get paid and you can get paid. But the people that can't not get paid every 2 weeks is the workers that work for you. If you have that mindset thinking that I'm the owner, I should get paid before the workers, you fail. And that's why most small businesses fail, because most workers still have that employee mentality, and that's just how they operate their business.
I think that's the biggest highlight right there too, is, what you said about working and not getting paid. because that's especially what we see, like just you and I mean, doing like say YouTube, right? I mean, now we're getting big bucks now. Like, I mean, guys, it's really it's nothing, but I mean, it's a matter of, the amount of content we're putting out there that can be viewed by others, and not just others, but our families, friends that have these questions. Go see the content, go view the content. We've built this foundation of basically having information out there, and that covers one thing that we want to cover in our lives. Like you said on another video, that you wanted to leave all this information for your great grandkids, their kids, and so forth. They have all this information. It's building that foundation. That's a form of wealth that we are building. It's having the mindset of sticking with it. I mean, with real estate, when you get your first rental property, it's not really going to pay you much. When you get your second, you're still not making much. When you get your third, you're still not making much. So it's consistently staying with it and building that, so that you have eventually built this process in place to where you have this cash flow drip. But in the beginning, I mean, you're not going to see much of anything, and you have to just keep staying with it. It's completely a mindset. I mean, you have to shift your way of thinking from the norm of what everyone else thinks, because most people, like you said, just have an employee mindset. They want to get a paycheck rather than think long term for their future. Whereas we know we could care less. Okay, we've got the property, now that's on our books. Boom. All right, what's the next one? Like, we're not, after that, it's not so much of worried about that property unless there's some kind of maintenance or repairs that needs to be done. But as far as like, the process itself, that's kind of out the way, and then we work towards the next one. And it's constantly taking that active income and then putting it into investments that's going to build wealth, that's going to build a passive income. But you've completely got to change your mindset and your habits on life itself, on how money works, in order to build wealth, in order to create some kind of generational wealth foundation.
And all those things are spot on. All those things are spot on, and people just need to understand it's a different mindset that goes along with the process. I always say step one to building wealth is to stop spending money. That right there is the number one headache, the number one hurdle that people cannot get. When I say stop spending money, I mean stop spending money. If it's not the four walls, if it's not rent, mortgage, lights, gas, phone, if you got a car, you got to pay that, car payment, insurance. Prefer people not have it, but if they have it, they have it. That's it. You got to pay food, groceries, that you got to pay for that. I mean, groceries, not food, like going out food. Groceries, you have to pay for that. Everything else, stop spending money. If you stop spending money, then you will have money to put in you can allocate it in other places to have your money make more money. But if you can't get past that first step, and that's everybody's number one hurdle, stop spending money, then you will always be in the situation that you're in. Alex, I said many a time, especially on the Discord chat, which is free for people to join, so please join. And details to the Discord is right there in the comment section. I always say, if you can't get past step number one, what the hell are you doing it for? You have to get past step number one. If you can't make that happen, then the game is over. Everybody want to look for leverage. Everybody want to look for credit cards to help pay for something because they can't get the intestinal fortitude. They can't get the discipline in their life to actually stop spending money. They want to know what bank's going to loan them money, what credit card companies is going to give you the most credit. Just stop spending money. Once you stop spending money, all that other stuff will fall into place. But nobody wants to give you leverage for somebody that don't have the ability to stop spending money. That's all I got.
With that being said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let us know down below. Don't forget to share this video, subscribe, and like it, and we'll see you guys on the next one.